Let's take a look at my new shawl pattern, the Rib Vault Shawl. The Rib Vault Shawl was originally part of my summer yarn and pattern club called the Westknits Yarn Along, but now it's ready to download as an individual pattern and it's filled with texture. The theme of this year's yarn and pattern club, the theme was architecture, so it was all these bold architectural shawl shapes filled with textured stitches. This was a pattern with the smock stitch. I've used this variation of the smock stitch in a couple other designs, but this one uses it in a 2x2 rib pattern, and I just love the little arches. I called this shawl the Rib Vault Shawl, inspired by like vaulted architectural ceilings and those curved arches found in architecture. So you get that beautiful arch with that gathered dip stitch flowing into the arched wavy border for the end of the shawl. So to knit this pattern, you're gonna need 2 colors of chain fiber yak singles. This is our custom colorway, this semi-solid called Dusk. It's a really smoky, purpley pink. It's kind of like a gray purple tone, really subtle and smooth. And then the border color, I used our new splashy custom colorway called Pink Sky. I really love the splashy variegated colors for the border because it's like a little knitted piece of jewelry at the end of the shawl. It's really decorative and the stitches are so simple, those twisted stitches. You can really use those fun busy yarns. But I chose to use the solid for my first color because it really shows off the crisp, clean stitch details for the Rib Vault Shawl. So let's look at some color ideas. I used just 1 skein of each color. So for the chain fiber yak singles, you're gonna need 2 skeins that look like this. The yardage on these is really generous. There's about 525 yards or 480 meters on each skein, and it's a really soft blend of merino, silk, and yak. It's 65% merino, 20% silk, and 15% yak. So you get mostly a merino soft fiber with that really shiny 20% silk, and the yak fibers give you that heathered gray. It's actually a heathered gray base yarn, and then the colorways are dyed on top of that gray brownish colorway. So all the colors get a really smoky, shadowy, deep tone to them. So you could do a neutral option, something like the Fossil colorway, and this one's called Rothko. I really love the beigey streaks of color and the little red specks in this Rothko colorway. Maybe use the lighter one for the beginning. I think that would show off the detail a little better. And then the dark one for the border would give you a really dramatic frame. So just 1 skein of each for chain fiber yak singles. Pay close attention to the yardage in the pattern. It's a bit more than 400 yards in the pattern. So a regular skein of fingering weight yarn might be cutting it close. So you might need to get 2 skeins of each color if you're working with a regular fingering weight 100 gram skein of yarn. These are 120 gram skeins, so they have that extra generous yardage. So you definitely just need 1 of each of chain fiber yak singles. But if you're using like their Dashing Sassy yarn or any standard fingering weight yarn, you might need a little bit more than 1 skein of each color. Or you could like bind off a little early also to make it work. But that's a really fun neutral option. If you go in the greens, these are a couple beautiful semi-solid and speckled green. We've got the Siren colorway. I think that would look really great for the border of the shawl. And this one's called Malachite. Again, I think the solid would look best for the beginning and then finish it with a splashy border. Let's take a look at some others. We've got Pangolin. This is one of my favorite variegated speckled yarns from Ching Fiber. It's really gold, orange, but has those streaks of pink and purple. So it's a really fun, splashy mixture. And then I think the beginning would look good with a pink or gold. This is the Biscuit colorway. This is the same colorway I used for my Mingling Daisies shawl. It's like liquid gold in yarn form. It's just so delicious. So 1 skein of this for the beginning, and then finish it with Pangolin, or maybe even, you could even go with a neutral, but this Pangolin is just too good. And I've got some other pinks here. Oh, this pink would look good too. Ooh, this is Nectar. I think that would look good as a border color. but I grabbed this is Kiki. This is the semi-solid Kiki colorway. I think Nectar and Kiki would look really good, starting with Kiki for the smock stitches and the twisted ribbing, and finishing with the splashy Nectar. So really fun color combos to try. This is a 2-color shawl that I knit, but if you want to do a solid version, just pay attention to the total yardage in the pattern. You could get 2 skeins of the same color if you want to do a solid version of this. So it could all be a smoky semi-solid like Kiki. 2 of these would make the shawl, or maybe a vivid green like the forest colorway. Brioche, what do you think? What color would you choose? I think he would do the royal blue, the hero colorway. You look really good with royal blue. So 2 of these would be good for the entire shawl, for those smocks and the twisted ribbing. And in the pattern, there's a lot of fun tutorials linked throughout. So I shared a really fun technique tutorial on how to make that exaggerated picot border. It's a really simple twisted rib frame to the shawl, and I did different sized picots during the bind off. So I made a little tutorial that shows exactly how to do that, and it tells you where to do that in the pattern to echo those wavy arches with those pointy picots. When the finished shawl is blocked, it's just so liquid. I love this finished size. It's not too big, not too small. So with that liquid, silky yak merino drape, it's a really nice decorative, medium-sized shawl. Not too big, not too small, but you can wear it lots of different ways. So that's the Rib Vault Shawl. You can find it on Ravelry and Westknits.com, and I'm definitely going to be knitting some more with this yarn. So let me know what your favorite kinds of colors are. You can find lots of those at Stephen and Penelope, but let me know if you have a favorite color combo or chain fiber colorway that you'd like to try by commenting down below. So I hope you enjoy that Rib Vault Shawl, and I'll see you in the next video.